All right, let's dive in. Today, we're breaking down a really cool tool that basically puts an AI stock analyst right inside your web browser. We've been digging through the open source docs for this Chrome extension called TRKPeak, and honestly, this could seriously change how we all think about stock analysis. Let's see what it's all about.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with a problem that I think every modern investor knows all too well. Then we'll introduce the tool that's built to fix it. But where things get really interesting is the AI that's powering the whole thing. We're going to look under the hood, watch it investigate a real stock, and then we'll ask the big question: is this where things are headed?
So let's start with a problem that, every single one of us has felt. We are absolutely drowning in financial data. There are charts, news feeds, quarterly reports, it's everywhere. But just having a mountain of data doesn't mean you have any real insight. The hard part, the real challenge, is connecting all those different dots to figure out what's actually going on.
I mean, really think about it. Your current tools are probably great at showing you what is happening. A stock price is going down. But do they tell you the why behind it? Do they automatically start digging to see if it's because of bad cash flow, or maybe a competitor just crushed it, or if it's just the whole market having a bad day? That's the gap, right? The gap between just seeing data and truly understanding it.
Okay, so how do we fix this whole data overload thing? Well, according to the documentation, the answer is a Chrome extension called TRKPeak. And the best way to think about it is like a financial co-pilot that just lives in your browser, ready to help out whenever you need it.
And the way you use it is designed to be ridiculously simple. You're just reading an article, you see a stock ticker, you highlight it, right-click, and boom, you get this full analysis right there. The docs actually call it right-click magic, and you can see why. The whole idea is to bring the analysis to you so you don't have to go hunting all over the internet for it.
Okay, but that slick interface, that's not the real magic here. The real game changer is the brain behind it all. It's a type of technology called Agentic AI, and it is a massive shift in how AI can solve complex problems.
So, what in the world is Agentic AI? Let's break it down. You see, a normal AI, it just crunches the data you give it. But in Agentic AI, it's more like a detective. It looks at a problem and then it decides for itself what tools it needs to pull out of its toolkit to dig deeper. It's the difference between just analyzing something and actively investigating it.
And this comparison really hits it home. A traditional AI is kind of like a calculator. You ask it a specific question, it gives you a specific answer. End of story. An Agentic AI, though, that's your detective. It doesn't just answer questions, it goes out and investigates, asks its own questions, and pieces together a whole case. It synthesizes a recommendation. It doesn't just present info. And you can see how this whole process is meant to think like a human analyst, right? It kicks things off with a broad look, a basic health check. But if it spots something that looks a little off, say a really high PE ratio, it doesn't just stop. That's a clue. So it makes an intelligent decision to pull out a specialized tool to figure out why that ratio is so high. It keeps doing this, pulling together all the clues until it's built a solid enough case to give you a final recommendation with all its reasoning laid out. All right, so if our AI is a detective, you know it's got to have a cool toolkit, right? So what's actually in this thing's investigation kit? Let's take a peek at the specialized skills it's working with.
So it turns out this agent has 7, count them, 7 different tools it can pull from. And this is so important because it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. This is all about picking the exact right tool for the right question at the right time.
And each one of these tools is like a different specialist on the team. You've got the historian, which pulls up all the past quarterly data. You have the doctor, who runs a full financial checkup. You've got your valuation guru, your competitive scout who's checking out the rivals, and even a Wall Street insider to get the analyst consensus. It's like having a whole team of experts on call 24/7.
Okay, so enough theory. Let's see this AI detective actually work a case. And the documentation gives us a perfect real-world example. A full investigation into Amazon, ticker AMZN.
All right, this is where it gets fun. We're about to see how this thing actually thinks. We're going to follow along step by step as it decides which tools to use and how it builds its case from literally nothing.
Okay, so check out this chain of thought. First, it runs that general health check and gets a score of 60 out of 100. Not great. And it flags a potential liquidity issue. So that one finding, it triggers the next step. The agent decides, okay, I need to see if this is just an Amazon problem or an industry problem. So it calls up the Compare with Peers tool. It finds out Amazon is a monster when it comes to revenue, but not as efficient as its peers. Okay, interesting. So next it thinks, what does Wall Street think? And it pulls in the Get Analyst Consensus tool and finds overwhelming support. It just keeps going like this, with each step and each discovery leading to the next logical question.
And this is the brilliant part. After all that digging, using 5 different specialists from its toolkit, the AI puts all the evidence together. It weighs the good stuff, like the crazy revenue and all that analysts love, against the not-so-good stuff, like the liquidity issues and high debt. You see? It doesn't just throw a bunch of facts at you. It weaves them into a story, a rationale, to get to its final conclusion.
So after that whole investigation, what's the bottom line? A clear buy recommendation. And what's so crucial here is that it's not some black box giving you a random answer. It tells you exactly why. It shows its work, explaining that the decision was based on weighing those key factors it uncovered.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. What does a technology like this really mean for the future of investing? Because this is about way more than just one handy tool. This feels like a fundamental shift, away from just presenting data and toward true AI-powered investigation.
Really, the big takeaway here is this massive shift in how we work with AI. For years, AI tools have been about showing us information, showing us charts. Now we're getting partners that actually investigate on our behalf. They can follow their own leads and bring us back a complete, thought-out conclusion.
Which of course leaves us with one massive kind of mind-blowing question. For so long, this kind of deep, multi-step financial analysis was something only the big Wall Street firms could afford. So what happens when every single investor has an AI investigation team right in their pocket? A future where that kind of power is in everyone's hands? Well, that's something to think about. Thanks for diving into this with me.